The recipes we're making on today's show will be available on my website, that's chefsrecipes.org. And our stew is in the oven now, and we have some onions here. And
we're going to get some good cooking here with some onions, some good old, this is some delicious white onions this time, which, you know, you can use yellow onions or white onions. And this is kind of the base for this lovely dish. I remember when I went to college in New Orleans. I'm going to just grab that for just a second. Thank you. I come from a little town, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and cooking was really not very good. I was used to overcooked meatloaf. You name it was overcooked. And I even talk about my book, I Drink on the Job. My discovery of food was New Orleans when I went to Tulane.
Really? Now that's a great place to learn about food.
Oh my God, the flavors, the way. But the thing about New Orleans food, they take the most simple ingredients and make them delicious. I mean, a sandwich in New Orleans is 10 times better than anything I had fine dining growing up.
And this is in olive oil now.
Yeah, this is just olive oil. You, again, can use any fat. Now, we're going to add a really wonderful fat, and we'll show them in a second, but we're going to add 2 sticks of butter to this. This is a classic dish from New Orleans. Actually, I think it's from Pascal Manale's.
Is it?
And it's called barbecue shrimp. But wait, there is no barbecue sauce in barbecue shrimp. What makes the flavor is browning the butter, and then ultimately we're going to add beer. Now, again, we're cooking with beer. To me, beer in this case is a little bit more in the background, because what we're really trying to bring out is the flavor of the shrimp and the butter and kind of the richness. And this dish is so good the day after. In fact, I'm going to say something. Not only is it good the day after, the best part of this dish is the sauce. Because what we have, you see, some cut bread there.
Yeah, I love this bread here. I cut this up for you.
When I was in New Orleans, back then they were called waitresses. Now they're called servers. Actually walked up to me and stuck it in my sauce, my dish, the bread, and put it right in my face. I got to tell you something. I think I ate 4 pieces of bread like that. I mean, that to me, that's like living like a king. So what we're basically just doing here is we're just going to brown these for a few minutes, and then we're going to add all our ingredients, and then we're going to pop it in the oven, and we're going to grill it for a little bit, and then we're just going to let it sit. And then this is one of the, like I said, the barbecue shrimp. Now, we're also using a local beer again. So I wanted to mention, too, that in this case, and I'll make sure, it's Starr Hill. Yeah, Starr Hill out of Virginia, and they're at my Mid-Atlantic Craft Beer Festival.
Oh, yeah.
Starr Hill is out of Charlottesville, and this is a kind of beer that you could use with any dish. This is what I would call, see, beer is great, and it can be better to cook with than wine in a lot of ways, because especially a neutral flavoring beer like this, it doesn't have a lot of flavor. It sort of melds the flavors together. Kind of like when I cook with wine, I cook with white wine. Because white wine lends less flavor and brings out more flavors. But to me, wine doesn't go with this dish. This is more earthy, more rustic, and that's what beer really does. It brings out flavors that are more, what's the word?
So what the flavor is in that beer then? This
is really a neutral flavoring beer. I'll be honest with you. I bought this on sale. They make some great beers. They have one beer called Love. I swear. You drink it, you think you're in love. But they make a whole group of beers. The big beers today are, you want to have an IPA, India Pale Ale, and a Pale Ale, which are very crisp and, what's the word, refreshing. And you also want to have a rich beer, like a porter or stout. Those are like dark beers, like like Guinness. Remember you said you had Ireland?
I was in Ireland at the Guinness. That was so good. I love it.
And we're going to finish with a Guinness-style beer. For cooking, believe it or not, you want a pretty neutral flavored beer most of the time. So this is an amber lager, which in other words means basically a beer for everyday drinking. So it's going to be really good.
And it's another one has a pretty label on it, isn't it? Really? Artistic.
One thing about craft beer, Lindsey, is there's a lot of artistic, creative people.
Oh, and with
that's what think of it this way, though. If you were going to open a brewery and there were 1,700 American breweries, how would you stand out? And one of the ways they do it is they have great names and great labels.
Great names. So how are we doing here?
We're in good shape.
Okay.
And we're just about ready to add the other ingredients. So you tell me.
So we'll be right back. Our onions look like they're done.
Oh, they're ready to go. Let's just give them a little turn there. Okay. Now we got to add what I call the real part of the New Orleans spice, garlic. Get a little garlic in there. All I did with the garlic, you see they're huge hunks. I just crushed them a little bit. Those are going to be like a little surprise. Don't you love that when you're eating a meal and all of a sudden out of the blue it's like, oh, I got the garlic. So that's for a lucky soul. So and you can already smell the garlic starting to come out. So now you're starting to create your flavor.
That's good.
Now what we're going to do is we're going to start layering flavor, okay? Now this is a blend of spices. In the recipe it just simply said salt, pepper, and cayenne. But you know what? I like different kinds of pepper, so I make my own spice, my own blend. And also, you're going to kick out of this. This dish reminds me a lot of a Spanish dish called gambas al pilpil, which is basically
Really?
paprika and shrimp. So what I'm doing is I'm actually adding, oh, there's quite a bit there too. Whoa,
yeah.
that's going to be flavorful.
So that'll go well with that shrimp.
And you've got the colors too.
Yeah,
so the
you
paprika is going to add just a touch of color in there. And by the way, that wasn't the recipe. That's just my personal little addition, okay? I take every recipe. I don't really cook by recipe. I kind of use them as kind of a concept,
a
base to start, you know.
Uh-huh.
But everyone wants to have their own uniqueness. Now
They do.
This is crab boil. Now, here's my problem with crab boil. I love it, but it will sit on my shelf for 10 years. You know, I don't use it enough. So I found ingredients out of my pantry that I use regularly, and they're kind of funky because I like funky things like at the 8th Street Market. This is actually a blend of shrimp paste in a bean oil. So you can get this at any Asian market.
Yes.
It's like a fermented shrimp paste. And then I added miso, which is also fermented for 2
I
years.
Miso, yeah.
Supposedly, if you eat this, it preserves you for 120 years. You'll never die.
That.
So let's give that a try. See what happens with that. And oh, by the way, it was thicker than that. So in order to get that consistency, I had beer, which is always good.
Oh yes.
Now look what's happening now. Now all of a sudden, things are coming together. Things are coming together. This will be.
Boy, the aroma.
This is why when you go anywhere where there's Asian cooking, you smell so delicious because you have
does,
garlic,
oh.
all these lovely flavors and everything. Oh, that's marrying beautifully. Oh my God. Another dish that I don't care what the weather is. I love barbecue shrimp. By the way, there's no barbecue sauce.
That's
in barbecue
right.
shrimp.
No barbecue sauce.
Now, you know what we did forget? We got to add butter. So we did forget that. Let's add butter.
Oh, wow.
I almost forgot that totally. But
Butter.
yeah, actually, I probably would have added the butter before I went. To be honest with you, though, that's going to be beautiful. Because this is another thing. Another thing about this dish. This is the marrying of flavors. So the butter is going to bring all that together. All we did
two
is
sticks of butter.
Is that enough? Should we add a little more?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
It looks
Did I mention
good.
this is a dietary dish? This is for people trying to lose weight.
Yeah, right.
Best part of this dish. Yeah, right. Best part of this dish. I'm going to be honest with you, and we're not even done cooking it or whatever, is the day after, you put this in the fridge and soaking up the bread. I already talked about that, but I'm telling you, this is just
So when does the beer
delicious.
go in?
Oh, I drank it all. No, we got some beer. We got some beer left or whatever. Actually, the recipe said use a New Orleans beer, which we were going to use a Beta, which is out of Louisiana, great beer.
Yeah.
But I decided to use a Virginia beer. This is Starr Hill, and they're going to be at the Mid-Atlantic Craft Brew Festival.
Or look for them.
This was on sale. Now, the reason I go for, this is an amber lager. Lager is a bottom fermenting beer, but that's not the point. The point is, it's a pretty neutral flavored beer. This is where beer does such a great job. You don't need to have a fancy beer. You could literally grab the, the microbrew out of the refrigerator.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, we got the butter. How's the butter looking?
Yeah,
it's getting
good.
going. Okay,
Yeah.
so now we're getting time for the other ingredients. Let's give that another. I'm going to give that a little spliff up. Butter's good. It's browning. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of lemon, a little acidity. I guess I got to do the Emerald way, the old Food Network. We don't want the seeds.
Yeah.
Okay, got that. Although they do it upside down. I'm too much in a hurry. Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, I got one more lemon. Okay,
more lemon.
and then we're going to add beer.
Oh,
second.
it smells so good.
Oh, see,
Charlie.
this is the C. When I smell lemon, I think shrimp. I think the C. Okay. We're gonna add a little bit of olive oil just for a little more fat. It says in the recipe.
You like the olive oil?
I don't want to break. I guess you just need that. And the pièce de la résistance, which I can barely say, is the beer. And I drank the other half. That's about 6 to 8 ounces. Look what it's doing. It's foaming up.
Yeah, I see.
So you ready? How long? When the foam goes down. Okay.
That's
Real
it.
simple. Yeah. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna dump that over the shrimp.
And here's the shrimp you got
Shrimp's
over
good
here.
to go. Shrimp's good to
Yeah.
go. And I like them with the shell on. Now,
You
someone
do?
says to me,
Yeah.
a lot of Americans don't eat the shell. I like
Oh,
the shell.
you like
to
the
me,
shell.
the shell, it's fiber.
Boy, they look good.
But also, you're going to let this cook in the oven for 15 minutes.
So it'll be soft.
It's going to soften.
Yeah.
And it's going to create a little crunch, too. And to me, the fat underneath the shell and the feet are a little crunchy. I like that, So I'm a little crazy, but I think Andrew Zimmern's a wimp, to be honest with you. But I eat everything,
Yeah.
and we're gonna pour that in top. Put that right in the oven.
Wow.
And,
Okay. I have the oven in.
Yeah, so we're almost ready to go.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's do it.
You said you're gonna put this over the broiler.
Yeah, right now. Yeah. Well,
The
once I
broiler.
get this, we're gonna put it in a broiler. Again, recipe says 10 minutes, and then move it around a little bit. What we're trying to do is dry it out a little bit. So
Yeah, okay.
let's do it right now. This is the fun part. I'm gonna do a little
Okay.
backhand here, but here we go.
Oh yeah, there it
Oh,
goes.
the smell.
Yeah.
It smells like butter and garlic and shrimp, and that's ready to go in the oven.
Wow. Okay. Well,
Be careful there, Lindsey.
Yeah, I'll
Ooh.
put this in the oven, and we'll be right back.